Hello and welcome. My name is Tim Moody. I'm the Public Information Officer of the Randolph County School System. I'm here with our Superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey, for the From the Desk Of series, our episode for February of 2020. If you follow this series at all, you know that each month we venture out to a different school. Today we are coming to you from Uwharrie Ridge Six-Twelve. It is our only 6-12 school in the school system. And in just a moment, we're going to meet the principal and also one of the students and learn a little bit more about this great school. So now I would like to introduce you to first-year Principal Brian Hill here at Uwharrie Ridge Six-Twelve. Mr. Hill, thank you first of all for being with us. And if I could get you to just tell the community a little bit about yourself and then also a little bit about this great school.
Okay, thanks for being here. My name's Brian Hill. My wife Nikki and I have 3 children. Mackenzie, who is actually a 6th grader at this school. And then we have Larklin and Kipling. They're 1 and 2 years old, so we're quite busy whenever I'm not at work. Been in public education. This is my 20th year in public education. Luckily, all of them have been in Randolph County School System. I taught health and physical education at Trinity Middle School for 14 years. After that, I was the assistant principal at Southwest Randolph High School under Sean Hildreth. Spent 5 years there as the assistant principal, and this is my first principalship at Uwharrie Ridge Six-Twelve.
I know the school is glad to have you, so tell us a little bit about the school.
We're a 6-12 school right now. Currently we have 6th through 11th grade. We'll have our first graduating class next year, which has been really neat trying to plan and for graduation and things like that. The middle school, it's a traditional middle school, and then when it gets to the high school, there's some choices for some students out there in Randolph County School System. So not just our 8th graders as they leave and they move on to a high school experience. They can certainly put in an application to stay here, but also we have room right now where some other students could seek out that opportunity. So anyway, we'll have our first graduating class next year. Should have 52 graduates. And right now it's just been fun this year trying to establish traditions. Right. So far this year we had our first bonfire, we had our first planning our first prom, we had our first homecoming court where we named a prince and princess. So next year we're going to name a king and queen. Last week we had our first junior ring ceremony, which went over really well, and it was neat working with the ring companies and designing the class ring. So that was very neat. And when I was talking to the kids, whenever we got done, before they were dismissed, you know, I started talking to them about they're making history, really, being the first graduating class. Absolutely. Because, you know, I said, you guys, one day you're going to be talking to it'll come up every now and then, where did you go to high school? You know, for me, I would say Asheboro High School. I think you went to Asheboro High School. But for this first graduating class, they're going to say Uwharrie Ridge Six-Twelve, and more than likely, right after that, they're going to say, I was in the first graduating class of the Uwharrie Ridge Six-Twelve. So I think that's really neat.
It is. Great school and a great time to be here.
Good place.
And speaking of students, we have a little treat today. We're going to get to meet one of your students, and I'm going to give you a chance here in a moment to introduce him and have him tell a little bit about some programs here at the school.
I want to introduce you to one of our students, Dominic Bradshaw. Dominic, actually knew Dominic a little bit because in 9th grade he went to Southwestern Randolph High School. So I remembered the face, and I remembered a few of the conversations that we had. And then the funny thing was, when I moved over here and accepted this job and got this opportunity, well, Dominic was the first person that I saw. I was walking around the school and Dominic was putting up bulletin boards and things like that. And one thing that stood out was his manners and just how polite of a young man he was. So then I started keeping an eye on him a little bit, and I was just amazed by all the things that he does for this school. So he's done a lot for our school, but also our teachers in this school, I think, has done a lot for him. So this is Dominic Bradshaw.
Thank you for giving me this experience today. Like Mr. Hill said, I was at Southwest for my freshman year and I transferred over for my 10th and 11th grade year. I will be the first graduating class next year. And when I first came to this school, I knew all the teachers. I knew what they were expecting of me, and I was expecting things from them too. I first joined the Student Government Association, where we started new traditions like the bonfire and our homecoming court, and we're starting a prom, and we've had so many more events, and I've enjoyed my time at this school with each and every single one of the students here, especially with the teachers and the new coming teachers who are just trying to get their surroundings.
So thank you again to Principal Brian Hill and student Dominic Bradshaw for sharing with us today. And Dr. Gainey, we're going to turn things over to you now and talk about a number of things. I know that a weather event back on February the 6th was a big story in our school system, and a great job with our schools, our staff, and our students, parents, and really the whole community in responding to that. I'll give you a chance to talk about that.
Well, Tim, it was in many ways a scary day for parents and staff members and students. Had a tornado come through, and we were already going to release early that day because of our anticipation of bad weather that night, and then the tornado warning came, and all 31 schools were in tornado position for about an hour system-wide. And just want to say a big thank you to the staff members and to the students and the parents and community members, because everybody was involved and everybody was very supportive. And you know, you don't want to have to go through that. You don't want people scared and anxiety levels high, but we did what we had to take care of kids, and at the end of the day, no one got hurt. It did delay our release by about an hour, but everybody was patient with us. And you know, I was talking to somebody after the event, and I said, it just is another example of a principal can't run his or her school by themselves. There you had staff members who took charge. They took charge of different parts of the building with their students, and you had students who responded. And then you had parents who were providing support. They understood what we had to do to take care of their children, and they were very patient with us. So great effort by everybody all the way around. Again, hate that we had to go through that, and hate that anybody went through that level of anxiety and being scared during that window of time. But it was a great example of what's right in our school system, how the teamwork is there, and regardless of what comes up, we're going to protect kids and staff, to go to great lengths to protect kids and staff, and that's what happened that day.
So one of the things we really enjoy doing in these interviews is recognizing the great accomplishments of students and staff, and one of the highlights on our school calendar every year is a spelling bee that took place recently, and I'll give you a chance to announce our winner.
Well, Tim, the spelling bee is a very special annual event in our school system each year in February, and we just had that event on February the 4th, and I want to congratulate Caitlin McAllister, an 8th grade student at Northeastern Randolph Middle School, who won the spelling bee. You know, it's a great event, and a large number of people always attend. It's held at Sunset Theater. I always worry a little bit about the kids, though, when they come up, because they have to be under a lot of pressure. Have to feel a lot of pressure when they're standing there in front of all the people and they have a word and they have no idea what they're going to be asked to spell, but they seem to handle it so well. And then there are words that come out every year, and I hear the word, I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that was a word. And sometimes they'll put a hyphen in the word where it's supposed to be, and it's just very impressive. It just tells you a lot about our kids and kids in general. You know, when they take an interest in certain initiatives, such as the competition with the spelling bee, just fun to watch when it's their area that they're very interested in, watching the level of effort they put into preparation for those events. Want to wish Caitlin a lot of luck as she goes to Winston-Salem for the regional event, and then if she passes through the regional spelling bee, then she'll get to go to Washington, D.C. for the national spelling bee. But Caitlin is a great kid. Had a chance to talk to her after she won, and just then we saw her at the board meeting the other night when we recognized her, and just seems like just an absolute great kid. So congratulations to Caitlin, and we wish her the best of luck.
So we talked about our spelling bee, and as you know, that involved our elementary students and middle school students. There's another really nice event, the Battle of the Books competition, that involves elementary and middle school. And today is the preliminary round of the elementary competition. Just a great event all the way around.
Well, it is. And I first want to say thank you to Eric Johnson and his staff at Wheatmore High School. They're hosting one of the preliminary rounds, and April Thompson and her staff are taking care of the other one at Providence Grove High School. So I want to say thank you to both schools and both principals for that. But just like the spelling bee, when you see the children who get involved with the Battle of the Books competition, it's so exciting to see their interest come out. And if you go to one of the competitions, like the finals will be on March the 13th, and when you go and you see the person that's kind of like the moderator leading it, and they ask the question to each team, watching the kids come together and kind of debate on what answer they're going to share as their team's answer. Just exciting to watch the teamwork, but even more exciting to know how many books the children are reading during this process and preparation. That's exciting to me to know that their level of interest in reading is there. And great day for our school system today, and then obviously the 13th when the elementary schools have the final round. That'll be a great day, as will the middle school day on March the 12th. So I want to say a big thank you to Bob Shackelford, who always hosts the final rounds at Randolph Community College. So another one of our great teammates and partners in the community is Randolph Community College. And just a big thank you to Bob Shackelford and his staff, because March 12th and 13th will be exciting days for our school system.
So we have another special event coming up on the school calendar. But unfortunately, we have had a bit of a postponement. This Friday evening, we were scheduled to have our all-county band concert featuring middle school students and high school students, but we've had to move that date.
Well, Tim, the all-county band concert is a special night for both middle school and high school band students in our school system and in Asheboro City Schools. It's a combined effort, and we do this every year in partnership with them. The children will go on March the 12th. Which is the new date. They'll spend that day with the conductor. There'll be a middle school conductor and a high school conductor, and they'll learn what they're going to play in the concert the next night. They'll spend all day Friday with them. But what an honor! What an honor to be selected as the best of the best in the county. When you're talking about Asheboro City and Randolph County school systems, so we've selected from the best in both school systems. And it's just when you sit in the concert and you hear these middle school students and high school students playing, you just kind of sometimes have to pinch yourself. These kids they're not professional yet, but there's somebody sitting here that will be a professional musician. And to know that we get the front row seat to watching them develop is really special. And I don't have any musical talent, but I can tell you, I've seen some kids over my career that are just unbelievable what they can do. So I hate it's been delayed because of the threat of inclement weather this weekend, or at the end of this week. But I look forward to March the 13th to see that concert every year. It's a special event that's always on my calendar because it's another great time. We talked about Spelling Bee, we've talked about Battle of the Books, and here we are, we're talking about All County Band. 3 big events that showcase how special our kids are. And you can't get any better than that, because people want to talk about, kids are special in this area, but there's a lot of kids special in a lot of areas. It's not just athletics, it's not just chorus, it can be band, it can be drama, and here we've got the Battle of the Books or the Spelling Bee. I mean, we have a lot of kids with special talents, and we need to continue as a school system to showcase them any way we can, because I've said this before, we're watching the future of this country unfold right in front of us in the schools, and that's what's exciting to me. So March 13th will be another one of those events that I'll be there ready to watch what special things our kids do that night.
So Dr. Gainey, we had a high school student who had a very special experience here very recently. She was able to sing at Carnegie Hall in New York City, so we'll give you a chance to talk about that.
Well, Tim, we did have a student at Trinity High School, Sierra Jacobson. She's a senior. She had an opportunity to go sing at Carnegie Hall in New York City. That opportunity resulted from her trying out for our honors performance series and being selected. We did learn in the process she had to learn to sing a song in Italian, but Sierra is a great kid, very talented. We wish her only the best, because when I heard the story on Fox 8, and she did a great job on that interview as well, I just thought, wonder what happens with this student years from now, what her future holds. And I think the sky's the limit for her. She's obviously very talented, and just look forward to watching her future as she moves through after high school, moves through the future, and just excited for her. Want to congratulate her. We'll get to meet her at the next board meeting because we're going to recognize her that night. But what an honor to be able to sing at Carnegie Hall in New York City. I mean, that's quite an honor, and it's a great reflection on Trinity High School. And just like the other events we've talked about today, great reflection on our school system and the great work the teachers and staff members are doing throughout the school system with children, helping them pursue their interest and just helping showcase their talents. So congratulations, Sierra. We're really proud of her, and look forward to having her at the board meeting in March.
So Sierra Makeup Son, as you mentioned, is a 12th grader, so she'll be leaving our school system soon, but we have another whole group of students that are just starting, and that's our kindergartners, and then we have a special registration night coming up soon.
Well, Tim, on March 10th, we have kindergarten registration at all our elementary schools, all 17, so we want to encourage parents to come out from 5 to 7 o'clock, and we need to identify our kindergartners as soon as possible for next year, get them enrolled so we can use those numbers to appropriately allocate resources to schools. And when we're talking about resources, we're talking about whether it be instructional resources or teacher positions or support staff positions. So we really need parents to come out if they can that night and get their children registered. And if they can't come that night, they can come anytime after that throughout the spring. We just really need to get a real good firm handle on what our kindergarten number is going to be next year as soon as possible, because it has a lot of implications for how we deal with the allocation of resources for the upcoming 2020-2021 school year. So you're right, as the seniors leave, here come the kindergartners. And this night will be a great night for parents to come in and meet staff, meet principals, and help with their transition too, because we have a lot of families that they'll be bringing us a child for the first time, and we want to make sure that they're comfortable and their child gets to come see the campus and the environment, and just anything we can do to help that transition be as smooth as possible. We want to do that night. So just hope all the parents will come out that night. And again, if they can't, then they can come the rest of anytime during the spring or through the summer. But we really need to work hard this spring, starting with March the 10th, and getting the numbers as accurate as possible.
So Dr. Gainey, thank you. And thank you again to Principal Brian Hill and to student Dominic Bradshaw for the great staff here at Uwharrie Ridge Six-Twelve for allowing us to come out today and for sharing the great things about this school. And thank you again to Randolph Communications for doing these videos with us each month. We look forward to seeing you again in March.